Yo, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? It's Friday. We are maybe an hour, I think, before the Lomachenko Lopez weigh-ins, and we are 24 hours from the most anticipated fight of 2020. Yeah, are you guys hyped up? I'm hyped up. I'm like crazy ready for this fight. I will say the last time I don't know the last time I've been this excited for a fight, but the last time, of course, this year was when Wilder and Fury fought their rematch. That had a real big fight feeling, right? Everybody was hyped about that. I saw all the traffic on social media and all that. I'm starting to see the same kind of trending on my tweets, on my posts and stuff for this fight. So I know everybody's hyped up about it. Thought that I'd get on here and just do a live chat video. The phone lines are open. If you guys want to call in, there's the numbers right behind you. All right, you guys know the numbers. Toll free in the United States, right there. Toll free in the UK, right there. Oh,
If you want to give Mike shit, call in.
yeah. All right. Well, she gives me shit all the time here at home. By the way, that's my wife. Everybody, I don't think you've made an appearance on the show or on any video since we got married. So,
Well, we've
yeah,
only been married for
a month and a
a month and a
half.
half.
How's it feel?
How's it feel?
I was going to ask you, how does it feel?
Feels
You're
no
the one,
different.
changed your name. Not yet, but
Not
anyway,
yet.
she just brought me a huge shot.
It's Friday.
Holy shit, guys, this is a big shot. All right, I'm gonna try not to spill this all over myself.
I'm gonna try not. Please don't ruin the
Yeah,
technology.
the by the way, guys, I know the audio's been shit lately. We fixed the phone issue, so if you guys listened to TNC this week, you heard
Did
the
we
phone
not
call
fix
with
the whole
Diego
thing?
Magdaleno. That worked out perfect, right? So the phones are good, but I know we were still peaking on YouTube. So, no, you just cut out something. I don't know what you just did. What are you doing? You just broke it. There we go. Now it's better. Okay.
I fixed it.
Yeah. So if it's peaking on this, guys, let me know in the chat. All right, let me know in the chat because there's one control that we're still messing with to find out because it's been peaking on YouTube, but not. All right, they just said the volume just went down, baby. What did you do? You broke it.
I did not break it.
Okay. Um, all right, Gail says it sounds good.
See? Thank
All
you,
right.
Gail. I told
All right.
you.
Well, yeah. Let me know how it sounds, guys, on YouTube because I know the YouTube live was peaking like crazy, but the audio version, like on Spreaker and all that stuff, was fine. So
That's
it
good.
was something with
I told
YouTube.
you.
They
I
said there's
fixed it.
some white noise in the background. I don't know. We gotta figure out what the hell that is.
That's this probably.
That's a feedback. No, don't turn that down. Yeah. Well, we're gonna continue, guys. We'll eventually get it right. We gotta talk about boxing. Oh wait, we already got a call here. Hold on. Let's do our shot, and then I'm gonna jump to this call. This is
Okay,
wow.
I
This
gotta
is
get
a
back to work.
catastrophe. See, this is why I plan my podcast. This is what happens.
when your wife shows up.
Yeah. See how she just blew this up. All right, hold on. Let me make sure I don't spill this shit. Holy hell, this is a big shot, baby. You're gonna have to come to me for the cheers. All right, guys. Salute. Oh, this is the pre-weigh-in
To Lomo.
cheer. Lomo? Did you just say Lomo? I think you meant Loma.
Loma. Obviously,
Well,
I already had one drink.
I'm just, yeah, she's already had one. This is my first drink of the day. I'm being good. I got my workout in. Now it's time to relax. All right, here we go.
Ooh,
What is that?
vodka.
The vodka. Well,
For
that
your
is in
vodka.
honor of, well, now we have to do something in honor of Teofimo. All right, let me jump over to the phones here. 951. Let's see. Who is this on the chat? 951. You're on the line. Go.
This is Hey, Big Mike. This is Mike Mendiola from
My man
California.
Mindiola. What's up, man? How you doing?
How are you, sir?
Doing good,
I'm
man. How
great,
you
man.
doing?
How are you?
Good.
I'm good. And happy belated congratulations to you and your wife
Thank you
you-
so much, brother.
on the
Mindiola
on the
says
wedding.
congrats.
I know it's been a
Thank
while.
you.
So,
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
no problem. No, I just wanted to just touch base on the fight real quick. Of course, like everybody else, excited, man. I can hardly sit still waiting for this fight tomorrow. Had some pretty interesting
You wanna listen?
opinions and
I'm gonna go
predictions on the fight yesterday at the gym with a couple of different fighters and trainers. And
Come back.
I mean, the consensus is that everybody's saying, well, Teofimo does have the power to to stop Loma if he catches him clean and he
Right.
catches him early. And then of course a lot of fighters and trainers are saying, yeah, but there's that yeah, but
Right.
I think most guys are saying that they think Loma just the experience factor, but they're seeing something a little bit different in his demeanor. They're seeing that he really wants to beat this kid. He's pretty stoic for the most part in all of his all the pre-fight press conferences in the past, but for this one, I really think he wants to do a number on this kid. I really do.
Yeah. Did you watch like the press conference and all that on ESPN?
I did. I did, and I think I shot you a little quick private message.
That's right. Yeah.
Bernardo Osuna said the two best analysts in boxing. I spit out my iced tea. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know about that shit. The two best, hey, I love Bernardo. He's the man. He's one of the best in the business. But that was, I don't agree with that hot take. But at the presser, did you notice that Teofimo was shifting a lot and looking away from Loma, looking down at his dad? And to me, Vasiliy to me looked very, very calm and, as you said, stoic. But he was looking through Teofimo like he was just grilling dude. And there was a couple of times where he kind of gave a "what the fuck, kid? What the fuck did you just say?" kind of look without saying nothing, but he kind of gave that look. Did you notice that?
I did, and I actually noticed it more the second time when I went and watched some highlights. And my brother and I were talking about it just earlier today, and he noticed the same thing, that he just like that, for lack of a better term, that tunnel vision,
Yeah.
just that like laser focus, like I'm gonna and like I said, I really think Teofimo I really think Lomachenko wants to put this kid in his place. Now, we know it's a boxing match, and we know that Teofimo's a strong kid. I do know some guys that have sparred with him personally. I do know a few guys that have attempted to spar with him personally, and he didn't want to have anything to do with them. But
I think I know who
we
you're
have a lot of
talking about.
lightweights guys in and around. Yeah, we got a lot of guys in and around 130 to 135, 140 that have known him. In fact, one of the junior lightweights that I work with, he said that he stood right next to Linares and Teofimo at the same time, and he said Linares is physically bigger person than Teofimo. I said, really? I go, because Teofimo looks fight. He's like, yeah, Linares is just like, when he's not on his fighting weight, he's just a big guy, strong, and that was kind of a segue into people saying, well, can Loma handle the strength and the size of Teofimo? I think he can, and I think the Campbell fight and the Linares fight might have been in preparation for fighting Teofimo. Or it could have been, at the time, it could have been Richard Comey. He fought Luke Campbell, who's a very tall, rangy fighter, much like Richard Comey was. So maybe they were just, getting prepared for either one of the two.
Yeah, and don't sleep on that Pedraza fight, because Pedraza's a naturally bigger guy than Loma too. The one thing I noticed, I've met Linares, and Linares is definitely taller and just seems to have a bigger frame and a bigger wingspan than Teofimo, at least from what I've noticed. The one thing, and I talked about this on my show, Teofimo Lopez has big hands, dude. For his size, I just noticed. I remember the first couple, he gave me like a dap one time. He was like, "What's up, man?" And he gave me like a pound like that. I was like, "God damn, dude, you got some mitts." Like, I just noticed he's got some big hands on him. Now, generally speaking, guys with big hands, because I've met, Lennox Lewis has huge hands. Vasiliy Klitschko, massive hands. Guys with big hands like that, even if they're not as twitchy and don't punch with the best technique, those heavy hands beating down on you, that's how Vasiliy Klitschko wore guys down, So maybe that's the secret to Teofimo Lopez's power. Some people are saying it's overrated. I'll say this, man. I do think when guys are coming up and they're drilling a bunch of B-level opposition, I do think power gets overrated. Knocking out elite fighters is what separates, special, like, power. Like Manny Pacquiao did that, right? That dude had explosive power. Even Jorge Linares, who we talked about, he had, I really think, at his best, really, really explosive, elite level power. With Teofimo, I'll give him this much. Richard Comey had never been drilled like that. He had shown a really good chin against Robert Easter, Denis Shafikov. Those are good fighters. And for Teofimo to get him out of there the way he did, now style-wise, he was built perfectly for Teofimo Lopez, right? But you got to give him credit. The kid, I think he can crack, because to get Richard Comey out of there, that's no small feat, man.
No, agreed. And I will give him his credit for that win. But and I think you had mentioned it before, and a lot of other people have mentioned it. Richard Comey's one thing. Lomachenko is a completely different puzzle, a completely different thing to try to solve.
Yeah.
I wanted to just make one more quick point, and then I'll let you go. I know you probably got some other calls waiting, but in regards to the judging and the referee assigned for the fight, I was talking to a trainer yesterday, and that was a big concern of this trainer. I'll just tell you who it was. It was Robert Alcazar. And he kind of said to me, Mike, why are they pulling? Why are these judges from New York like Letterman? Why is she covering this fight? He says this is a Nevada fight. He doesn't understand what's going on. And then Russell Moore getting the assignment over. There's plenty of good qualified Nevada officials.
Yeah.
Robert Byrd, Tony Weeks, whoever, Kenny Bayless. I just don't like Russell Moore's track record. Next to Lawrence Cole, I think he's probably. He has some fights where he does a good job, but he's had some atrocious fights.
Yeah.
The first one that comes to mind is Abner Mares' Joseph Agbeko.
Oh my
where
God.
He just repeatedly allowed Mares to purposely foul Agbeko, and nothing was ever done. So I don't like that. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people said in the Fury Wilder 2 fight that Tyson Fury wins that fight on decision, or Deontay Wilder knocks him out. And I think I might have mentioned it to you. Robert told me this. He said, Mike, Tyson Fury is going to knock Deontay Wilder out. He's trained in his size. He's going for the knockout. And I said, really, Robert, do you think that? And I mentioned that to a few other people, and they were like, no, there's no way he's going to knock out Deontay. He's just going to try to box him. Right. And sure as shit, did he not? It wasn't this devastating knockout. But so people thinking that Teofimo cannot win a decision in this fight, you have to understand boxing and what happens behind the scenes and how these matches are put together. And I'm not saying right now that Bob Arum is out to kind of sever his ties with Lomachenko, kind of the way he did with Manny Pacquiao, and then prior to that, De La Hoya. But I think
Mayweather.
If this fight is close, I could see someone like a Julie Letterman having some off-the-wall scorecard and giving it to Teofimo, and that'd be the deciding. It only takes one of the three. To put in a bad card.
Tim Cheatham, who I think is a good young judge, he had a score last week. Right? What score was it? Where he scored a fight way too close. I can't remember it at the top of my head. He's one of the judges.
Was it the Filipino kid that fought, or?
No, it was. It was Navarrete Villa. I think he scored that fight, and he had it like a draw in terms of rounds.
Yes.
Dude, he immediately gets an assignment here. I'll say this much. All the judges, the ring officials, everybody involved in this, it is 100% on Top Rank. So if there is any fuckery with refs, judges, any of that, Top Rank has to own it. And the fans and the media need to pound the shit out of Top Rank for approving some of these guys. I'm with you on Mora. He's had some good performances, decent performances, but he's inconsistent. And I don't like Robert Byrd and some of those other guys. I think that they're too old and they need to see their way out of the sport, with all due respect. But there's plenty of young referees that they could have brought in because there's going to be a lot of movement in this fight. You're going to need a young, athletic kind of ref to keep up with all that. And it could get ugly at some point. Depends on how Teofimo fights. So I don't love the assignment, but I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic, man. I'm trying. We'll see.
Yeah. And I don't want to put any negative energy out there for anybody else listening. I don't want to, jinx anything, but I just, like I said, I think there were some directions they could have gone that would have been a little bit more settling for me. And I know the ins and outs of boxing. You've been behind the scenes a while. So with that being said, man, I have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy those shots. Have a great day tomorrow, man. Enjoy the fight. Have a great weekend. Hopefully we can chop it up after the fight. And there's there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, that I think Loma's going to pull this off. But let's just hope we get a good, clean fight, and there's a clear, concise winner, and no, like as you say, I'm gonna steal your word, no fuckery.
Hell yeah, bro. Hey, man, join the live fight party tomorrow, man, and watch the fight with me live, bro. Yeah, you said it perfectly, man.
Okay.
I just hope for a good, clean fight.
Take care, Mike. Thanks for taking the call, buddy.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. There he goes, guys. And my boy Mike Mendiola brings up a great point that I'm going to get to in just a second about Top Rank. And I'm just going to, no conspiracy theory or anything, but Mendiola brings up a good question. If you're Top Rank and you could choose who you want to win, who would you want to win? Would you want Lomachenko to win? He's the more proven name now. And maybe you can make more money with him now if somehow you could get Gervonta Davis to do a big pay-per-view showdown with him. Or do you want Teofimo Lopez to win? He's much more marketable in the United States than Lomachenko is. So that brings up some interesting questions. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, I got to get to a couple super chats. Thank you so much, Deed3440, for the super chat. He says, Lomachenko by wide decision. If Lopez gets no mas, no surprise. Damn, you are on the record. I've actually heard a few people say that this could turn into a no mas situation, which brings up another question I want to ask you guys. If something like that happened, or if this was a dominant, decisive loss for Lopez, who takes that harder? Lopez Jr., the fighter, or Lopez Sr., who's been doing all the talking for years, well before this fight was even being discussed by Top Rank, about Lomachenko, and really was the one who drove for this fight? Who takes that loss harder, and would it cause a shakeup in that corner? These are all interesting questions. Another super chat pledge from my man Joel Morgan. He says, "Cooking with Joel," or that's your YouTube, Cooking with Joel. By the way, man, what's on the menu for tomorrow, Joel? What you got cooking, man? I'm curious. You must tweet it out. Make sure you tweet that out. All right, so wow, a bunch of you guys are on the chat here. Gail says, Lopez Sr. takes the harder hit, and perhaps Lopez Jr. will finally have the leverage to make a change in the corner. Joel says Sr. definitely takes it harder. He agrees too. Brad Williams says, Daddy. Yeah, man, a bunch of you guys feel that way. Piglet Smith says, I'm scared Senior's going to attack Papachenko. I don't see that happening because Papachenko knows his business. And I don't think Lopez Sr. wants to do that. I don't see that happening. We shall see, though. Interesting, man. Muhammad Ali's on the chat. Wow, Muhammad Ali from the grave saying Lopez's dad putting a lot of pressure on him. He's living his life through his son. I don't know, man. I'm not going to say one way or another on that, but we've seen that sort of thing before. I actually think Angel Garcia and Danny Garcia, that situation might be a little worse and a little more dysfunctional than this one, but we won't know until we know, right? That's what I always say. I mean, this is the Lopez camp. This is their first big elite fight, and we'll see how they handle it, win, lose, or draw, and how they go from here. Danny Garcia and his father, they've been in several big fights. Nothing like this, but several big fights. And despite all the issues that Angel's made for Danny, they've been able to get through all that and still have a pretty successful career. So let's see. Interesting quotes, guys. I could keep going with these comments here, but I want to get to something. Top Rank. Oh, you know what? We have a call here. I'm going to jump to it real quick. But Top Rank, man, who do you want to win more? Do you want Teofimo Lopez to win? Because down the line, the next 5+ years, you've got an extremely promotable, marketable fighter. With Lomachenko, it's going to happen at some point where he gets old overnight. He does bring in some foreign TV money. That helps. But he's not as marketable to what I call middle America, to what I call Joe Sixpack, as Teofimo Lopez is. He's just much more marketable here in the States. Some YouTube channels and some people in media would have you believe it's the opposite, but that's just not true. That's just the demographics of the sport here in the United States. And there's plenty of evidence of this that I could bring up. Teofimo is much more marketable. So either way, I think Top Rank can't lose, but I will say I think best case scenario for them is if it's a really good competitive fight and Lomachenko edges it, wins a decision on the cards, because then it's seen as a learning lesson for Teofimo, much like when Canelo fought Floyd, even though that wasn't close or competitive, Floyd pretty much shut him out. Nobody holds that loss against Canelo. So if Lopez loses to Lomachenko, there's the Lomachenko haters, but everybody else who's objective and reasonable, they're not going to hold it against Teofimo Lopez, and he can move up to 140, where Top Rank has Josh Taylor, Ramirez, and at some point those guys are going to move up to 47 and fight Crawford. All those titles that they're about to unify are going to open up, and Teofimo Lopez could fight for a vacant title within a year, maybe 6 months of moving up to 140. That's very possible, right? So it just depends on the timing of all this stuff. I think that'd be the best case scenario for Top Rank right now, but over the next 5 years, who's to say? Who's to say? All right, we're going to jump to the phones here. We got a restricted number. Uh-oh. We'll see. We'll make sure it's not the IRS checking up on me, trying to get that tax money. All right, restricted number. You're on the line. Go.
Hey, Mike. It's also Mike.
It's also Mike. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm really good. I just wanted to say I've been a subscriber for maybe around kind of 2 months now, and the show's good, but I feel that it could do with a little improvement. I'm just, as a subscriber, wondering how you're going to improve the show to keep me or retain me as a current subscriber.
Well, what do you suggest? Let me ask you,
no
what would
idea.
keep you entertained? I was wondering how long you were going to go with that.
Hello, buddy.
What's up?
It's John, by the way. So.
Okay, John, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
That was awesome.
Sorry about the restricted number. I can't help that. When I make the international call, it comes up as restricted. It's kind of out of my hands, but yeah. Well, Tiff said to call up and stir you up and give you some shit, so I just thought I'd better do
I
that.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love the prank calls. I started finally getting them this week, and I thought, I'm surprised I don't get more because I have haters on Twitter and stuff. I'm surprised I don't get prank calls every week. Maybe it'll start now. I don't know, but they're fun, man. I don't mind that shit. I think it's hilarious.
I've got to be entirely honest. I love that you don't address the haters anymore. I think that's great. It makes the show so much better. You're focusing on the positive, and the show's awesome, buddy. So keep on keeping on. So
thank you. Thank you. We're trying to get better all the time.
My apologies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying I'm trying to get better all the time and learn.
Great.
And it's a learning process. But I've just learned, just be positive, leave politics out of it as much as I can. Sometimes it's political. You have to talk politics, but leave that out as much as I can and just ignore the assholes because there's always going to be assholes in the world, right? So anyway, I'm sorry. I cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's all right. In my humble opinion, you probably have the best boxing channel on YouTube. So there you go. Thank you. You're doing a great job. So keep it up. No worries, buddy. I wanted to briefly touch on obviously the fight. I can personally see Loma blowing him out in the first 6 rounds. So wow. I know not many people are saying that, but I see that happening, and I see him schooling Lopez as well. So yeah.
Wow, that is a. I haven't heard anybody say. I have heard a few people say Lomachenko knockout, but it's all 9th round, 10th round. But you're saying 6 rounds.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I think so, and I agree with the previous caller too. I think for perhaps that first sort of 4 to 5 rounds, before obviously they get to the 6, I can see him wanting to inflict a lot of pain too. So I think it's like, any really good athlete, especially when they're at the pinnacle. They're on top of the hill. They're the very best at what they do. When you get someone whom comes along like Lopez and they're very brash, outspoken,
and probably I would say even bordering on disrespectful, Loma really will want to make a statement. I think he's going to be up for this, and yeah, I see, as I say, I see a blowout, and I see it ending in the first 6 rounds. So we'll see.
Well, you're on the record. If that's what happens, then I will give you props on the show tomorrow, live right there, because you're the only person I've heard say 6 rounds. So interesting.
Yep. So, well, I again, like the other caller, I think he's going to want to make a statement. So, and how best to make a statement than to do that? So
that'd be a big statement. Now, let me ask you this: if he does that, is he pound for pound number 1, Lomachenko?
He is. He's got to be. Absolutely, has to be. Yep. And by some stretch, I think too. Yep.
Okay. Good stuff, man. Well, you're on the record, sir.
Okay, no worries. All right, say hello to Tiff.
I will, man. We'll definitely do that. And
okay, take care.
You too.
Okay. Catch you, buddy.
All right, man. Bye. Have a good one. Oh, that was a great voice at the beginning. Holy shit. Now, I will admit, guys, he had me for half a minute there because I thought, hey, maybe this person just has a really high-pitched voice. And I didn't want to laugh at them in case it was a real person with that voice. Because I have met people that talk with a really high-pitched voice. So I wanted to be respectful. But about, I don't know, 30 seconds into that, I was, okay, who the fuck is this? And I knew, okay. And that's why when he said, how could you improve the show? I was like, how could you improve it? Because I wanted to see if he could keep the voice. I cracked him on that one. Oh, that was good. By the way, I wanted to talk about this because I don't know what to think about this, guys. So I have a poll on my Twitter. I'm doing, like everybody else on earth, I have a poll for the fight on my Twitter. It's pinned to my Twitter account, so go there and vote if you haven't, okay? But as of now, wow, over 500 of you have already voted on this poll. And I'm looking, and 48% of you say Loma by decision. Almost 32% say Loma by stoppage. Okay, so just my rudimentary math skills there. That is, 80%. 80% of you are favoring Loma. So only 5% of you say Lopez decision. About 14% say Lopez stoppage. So, man, only about 20% of you are saying Teofimo Lopez. And I'm wondering, are people getting a little too confident in Lomachenko and his side? Is that because I just feel like I've seen trends like that before, a fight like this, and then you see the upset special or the big surprise. I know Cody8804 in the chat says Teofimo by knockout. So there's a Teofimo Lopez guy. And there's a few people I've seen out there that are boldly picking Teofimo Lopez. But it feels like at least 80%. I mean, Ring TV, guys, go to ringtv.com and look at the Ring staff did a Lomachenko Lopez prediction thread. And it's just everybody's picks. And we all put in maybe like a paragraph. And you'll see me there. It's consistent with my breakdown video and all that. But everybody else there, and I want to say only like 2 people on staff picked Lopez. Everyone else picked Loma. So it makes me wonder, are people getting a little too overconfident and maybe underrating Lopez? The thing with Lopez is he's still largely unproven. He has the blowout win over Comey and some really decisive victories over some good B-level fighters, guys like Mason Menard, guys like that, who are quality prize fighters, but they're fringe contender type, gatekeeper types, right? But Comey, legit top 10 lightweight, never really been hurt like that. Certainly not knocked out. And so I think that was a huge statement by Lopez. But then again, you look at the styles, he was tailor-made for Lopez. So we just don't know how he's going to react. But my favorite expression this week, you don't know till you know. If he gets in there with Lomachenko and shows us levels he's never had to show us before, it'll show a lot about who he is, and then we'll know. But right now, there's just a lot of unknowns with Teofimo Lopez. So I do wonder if people out there are totally underrating him and discrediting him. He's definitely, hands down, in my opinion, the second best lightweight in the world. Pick a lightweight that's better and more proven than him other than Lomachenko. And don't tell me Gervonta Tank Davis, because he has fought, once at 135, and that was against Yuriorkis Gamboa, who had a torn Achilles heel, a blown-up featherweight with a torn Achilles heel, and somehow made it to the 12th round. Also, Gervonta Davis missed weight for that fight. And we don't know if he's fighting at 130 or 135 or somewhere in the middle in his fight with Leo Santa Cruz. So we don't rate Gervonta Davis at ring right now because he says he's fighting at 135, but beating Yuriorkis Gamboa does not put you in the top 10 at lightweight. So we didn't rate him last year. Now his next fight's at 130 on paper. So we don't know if we're supposed to rate him there. We don't rate him or Leo Santa Cruz. Isn't that crazy? We know they're two good fighters. They obviously are in the top 10 of one of those divisions. We just don't know where the hell to rate them or rank them right now. But yeah, Devin Haney, I get it. Good young fighter, but Teofimo Lopez is definitely more proven. This is the number 1 versus number 2 lightweights. It truly, truly is, man. That's what's got me so pumped for this. And I think it's going to be more competitive than people believe. I picked Lomachenko by like 116, 112, 117, 111. In terms of rounds, that's pretty damn decisive, right? That's 8-9 rounds for Loma. But that doesn't mean I don't think it's going to be highly competitive. And Lopez won't be very, very dangerous, especially in the first half of the fight. I still believe that. I definitely believe that. Super chat pledge from my man Trent. Thank you so much, Trent Namparil. Oh, he says Lipinets Abdukokarov is off. Yes. Uzbek visa issues. Yep. That is true. Looks like Xavier Martinez is poised for a big performance. Is Bully Beck fighting again this year? Man, I don't know about Beck the Bully. I heard he was. I heard that he's trying to fight in December. So I do believe he's going to fight again. I can check to see if he's got anything on the schedule, but I don't think so. But yeah, I believe he's going to fight again this year, dude. Definitely. December. That's what I've heard. But is anything signed? No, not that I've heard. John Newman says, I'm just betting Loma by TKO because I'm worried he stops Tio earlier or Tio quits if I bet the 11th. I can't see Teofimo Lopez quitting, guys. I have a hard time. It's not just Teofimo Jr. I think if he tried to quit, if he was like, Dad, I can't see, or Dad, I think Tio Sr. is going to push him out there and say, no, you get your ass back out there. You finish the fight. I can't see a scenario where he quits. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. It's happened many a times before, but with that combination, with the dynamic between father and son in that corner, I don't think Senior would let Junior quit. And I haven't seen anything in Junior yet that tells me he'd quit. I definitely think if Loma scores a knockout, it's going to be like a ref stoppage, something like that. I don't see him icing Lopez with one big shot. I just don't see that. He's too strong, too young. And also, Lopez is in really good shape. I should mention the weigh-in starts, I think, in 30 minutes, the top-ranked weigh-in, which will be on ESPN. So I'll definitely cut off here so we can go and watch that. But, of course, I don't think they're going to get right to the main event. I don't know. I didn't check the schedule. I haven't had time. I've been so damn busy this week. But I don't know if they'll go right to the main event or have a few. I think they'll have a few weigh-ins first. So it might be closer to like 5:30 or something where they actually do the weigh-in. But, of course, all this could change. All these opinions could change if Lopez comes in half a pound heavy or something like that, and he has to come back and make weight again. Or if he comes in super light, say he comes in at like 128.5, or I'm sorry, not 120, 133.5, something like a pound and a half under, to where it looks like he may have overtrained. If we see something like that, well, then maybe that will change our opinion. But I'm expecting them to come in right at 135, and with Loma maybe 134 and some change. That's what I'm expecting. And if that's the case, then it's all systems go for tomorrow. By the way, all the COVID tests have come back. These dudes are negative for COVID. So as of now, we are good. I think they will be, I want to say they were tested already today, but I don't know if they'll be tested again tonight. I don't know. All right, we got another call here. Let's jump over to the phone lines. Let me click the button here. Make sure, 601, you're on the line. Go.
Hey, Mike, it's Joel Morgan. How you doing, brother?
Joel, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, not much. Your show's giving me an excuse to quit working for the day. I've been sitting in an attic working on an air conditioner for 4 hours, so
Oh shit.
I'm taking a break.
What degrees? What's the temperature like up there? Because I know in the summer it's like 150 up in the attic. What is it? Is it like decent now?
It was in the low to mid 60s outside all day. It's a cool day here.
Yeah.
But I think it was in the probably mid 90s. So
which is like a break.
Fun.
That's like, well, that's like a break from like, because this
cooler
summer,
than
man,
the middle of the summer.
I worked up in my attic this summer, like in July. Holy shit. I lost like 8 pounds in 30 minutes. I swear. It was insane, man. But anyway, yeah, man, you're done working. It's Friday. It is Friday, brother. You're done.
I'm done. And we're doing pulled pork for the fight.
Nice.
So, you asked that earlier. So.
Dude, since moving down here, I've had that pulled pork. That shit is amazing. That's really, I love that shit.
Yeah. Pulled pork is, man, it is fattening, but damn, it's good.
It is good. Yeah.
But just something I wanted to hop on that one of your other callers said. I rewatched the interview with Tessitore and the two of them the other day.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be surprised if Teo wins by knockout.
Okay.
But I couldn't stop thinking when I rewatched that interview, it felt so much like the interview with Max between Vladimir Klitschko and David Hay. Because Loma just seemed, he just seemed laser focused to me. And Teofimo was a little bit more slouching, moving constantly, kind of, not as disrespectful as Hay was, but the dichotomy seemed similar to me. And I wonder if that's going to end up being a similar way to how the fight plays out. Because, my money's on Loma. I'm not going to be surprised if Loma stops him. But, I could see Teofimo winning it, but Loma just seems laser focused at this point. So I'm wondering how much that'll come into play tomorrow night.
That is a really interesting comparison, man, because there are parallels. Obviously, there's differences in those two situations, but there are parallels. And Lomachenko is the established guy, the reigning champ, and a lot of people feel, remember like a year ago, it was a year or so ago, after Lopez fought that Japanese guy, Yakatani, I think his name was, and everyone was like, oh, man, Lomachenko is going to kill him, right? Mm-hmm. And then the big win over Comey, and now everyone's like, oh, man, suddenly we got this competitive 50-50 fight. Well, a lot of people looked at David Hay the same way when he was fighting Klitschko. They looked at it like he was kind of talking his way into this big fight, and Klitschko kind of overpaid him. He came out of his pocket to give Hay more money than a lot of people felt he deserved. And when they finally got in the ring, you just saw a complete difference in class. Vladimir Klitschko is just stratospheres above David Hay. Could we see something like that tomorrow night? That's a really interesting comparison, man. I had not thought about that one. Good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until the second time I watched it. Now, that said, Teofimo, I think, is a really good fighter. I think he's got a lot more depth to his game than a lot of people give him credit for. But I'm not going to be surprised if he just gets embarrassed. Not because he's bad, but because I think Loma is still that good. And honestly, Loma's fought, it seems like he's been fighting injured the last year or two. Yeah. They say he's completely healthy at this point. I wonder what version of Loma we're going to see tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too, man. Thanks for bringing that up. Apparently he has been fighting with nagging injuries. A lot of people, they think, well, he's only got 15 pro fights. Well, yeah, the dude had 400 amateur fights.
But he's got over 400 altogether. It's
the World Series of Boxing too. Right? All that stuff combined, because I think he did World Series of Boxing as well. So all that combined, yeah, dude, like he's been fighting since he was a teenager at a very high level. And so more than half of his life, essentially 20 years, he's been fighting at such a high level, basically eating, drinking, sleeping, boxing 24/7. That's going to put some wear and tear in your body. So he's 32, 33, but I think it's 32. It's an old 32. And for him to be in this fight completely healthy, that's another X factor for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But anyway, I will let you get back to some calls, man. I just wanted to give you a holler and let you know what I was thinking about for the fight. I will definitely be at the live fight party tomorrow night.
Hell yeah, bro. Tweet a photo of that pulled pork, man. I want to see. I love that shit, man. That shit is awesome.
Will do, man.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, take care, brother. Say hey to Tiff for me.
I will.
Bye.
There he goes. I think we had another super chat up here. Yeah, another super chat. Thank you so much from Ko Matsuda. Thank you so much from New Zealand. Awesome. Checking in from New Zealand. How awesome is that? He says, have you ever listened to a live fight on radio before? That's a really good question, dude. I seem to have now, this could totally be like a memory planted in my head from movies or something, but I seem to have like this faint memory of when I was a kid listening to a fight, or it was probably like an interview, a fighter like Mike Tyson on a radio show or radio interview. But that I can't really say. It's not a clear memory. I feel like I was just a little boy, so no, like nothing. Never heard a fight on radio. I mean, the closest thing to radio here, watching a fight would be on like Twitter or something like that. And of course, I've seen plenty of sporting events on my phone via Twitter. I've been at weddings and stuff like that. You kind of pull out your phone and look down and make sure no one can see you. Like if you're at a wedding at a church, you have your Bible or whatever, you kind of put your phone in the Bible. And you just have to, when you turn the page, you have to get a little slick with it, when everyone's singing and you got to turn the page, you can lower the phone, turn the page, bring the phone back up, and you see the fight, or like football game or something. I've definitely done that. I know I'm going to hell, right? But yeah, that's it. It would be, it's so funny you say that. That's that question. Cinderella Man, that movie came on 2 nights ago, I think, on one of the 50 showtimes that we have here. And I love that movie. I love period pieces. I love movies about, the times before. And they did such a good job with that one. But, the final fight scene where his kids and his wife are listening to the fight on the radio, and everyone in the neighborhood, everyone at the pub, the local church, listening to the fight on the radio. I just kind of wondered. I remember wondering when I watched that movie, like how interesting, how different that must have been, because you really are hanging on to the commentator's every word. On TV, the commentator is just supposed to add a little color on top of what you're watching. But in radio, you're really clinging to their every word, and it must have been such a different time to be with your family and everything crowded around a radio listening. Such a different time. I think we have another super chat. Yes, we do. Thank you so much, Gerardo Lopez. I appreciate that, brother. He says, I think this is going to go like Marquez versus Diaz fight. That's another great comparison. The young guy will have moments, but the more experienced and technical fighter will outbox. Could it be Marquez versus Diaz, or what about Marquez Katsidis? I don't know. Maybe it's a Marquez Katsidis type situation. I don't know. Marquez could be an explosive puncher, though, at times. He really, really could. More so than Lomachenko. You got to remember, Lomachenko really is a featherweight. He truly is a featherweight. And when you've seen him stand, even watching him sit 12 feet apart or whatever it was from Lopez, you could see the size difference. Lopez has a bigger head, bigger hands, bigger through the shoulders. He's just a bigger guy. And Lomachenko has had to really bulk up and put on some muscle to move up in weight. Teo has to cut muscle to stay at 135. You are going to see a size difference in the ring tomorrow. All the stuff, all the press conferences and stuff you've seen. I mean, Lomachenko wears those shoes where the heel is like that fat. You know what I'm saying? That helps him out an inch or two. In the ring, it's not going to be that. You're going to see the size difference. What I'm curious, the thing I'm really, really curious about is speed. Are we going to see a significant speed difference between Lomachenko and Lopez, or will the speed look comparable? If the speed looks comparable, both guys seem to have similar hand and foot speed, it's going to be a long night for Lomachenko. But if right away you see a stark difference in hand speed and especially foot speed, maybe you guys are all right. Maybe Lomachenko can completely dominate this guy. That, I think, is going to be a big factor. Of course, I'll be talking about that tomorrow on the Fight Party right away in the first round or two. You guys are going to hear me talk about that a lot because that's one of those key things, man. Right away, if you see that, like, whoa, one dude looks way faster, way more athletic, that's going to be a difference. But if Lopez can keep up at least close, or if he looks even in terms of speed and explosiveness and everything, this is going to be a really competitive fight. That's the way I tend to see it. All right, we got another phone call, man. Everyone's calling in on Friday. Everyone's getting off of work and calling in. Let's jump over here to 970. You're on the line. Go.
Hey, Mike. What's up? It's John Newman. I just wanted to clarify my comment in the chat. Tell you I appreciate your work. I'm actually calling from work, so, don't call my boss when I get off the phone with you.
We don't want to get you fired, man.
But I think, so when I say I can see Lomachenko getting Lopez to quit, I don't really think of a no Moss, and Junior, who is senior, is never going to throw in the towel. That's just not.
Right.
But I definitely, Teddy Atlas, who has forgotten more about boxing than I know, even if I don't agree with everything he says, has a saying that a lot of fights go a certain way until one guy says, hey, I'll stop trying to win if you stop hurting me. And I see something like that happening. I see like a very distinct possibility of Teofimo not being able to hit Loma and not being able to pressure Loma and just getting worn down mentally. And then Lomachenko not ever backing off.
Like mentally capitulating.
Yeah, like where he just says, I'm not trying to win anymore, but Lomachenko puts his foot down on the gas. And the ref calls it off because Teo's just not fighting anymore. That's what I mean by I see Teofimo just capitulating. As a possibility. I think that's a little more likely than, say, if Teo, I can't remember which fight it was, that Teofimo threw that sort of check left hook as he sidestepped the guy who was fighting. And like when he just caught Comey coming in straight with Comey's right hand, I see, like, if he lands a punch like that, and Loma calls that a lucky punch, I don't know if lucky is the right word in English, maybe it is in Ukrainian, but if he catches Lomachenko with one of those fights, it's going to be a different fight, and it'll be a lot closer. But if he doesn't catch him, it's going to be a long night for both Lopez's. I think Loma's dialed in. I think he's healthier than he's been in any fight since, it's this fight in Crolla, that he's been healthy at this weight. And he dominated Crolla.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there's that much of a quality difference between Crolla and Lopez. I think there's a lot, a Crolla. I think Lopez would beat him in my mind, but I think that you're talking where we are in the lightweight rankings right now. I think Teo is closer to Crolla's level than he is to Lomachenko's level.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I think you put like Teo in with Pedraza, Teo in with Campbell, and Teo in with Crolla, and you get, at best, he has 2 out of those 3 fights where he looks like Nakatani. He still wins by a wide margin, but he just looks bad. Even just the quality of opposition at 135, I think there's a world of difference. I think that what people forget is even if Loma's lost a step and he's not as fast as where he was, there is no way that Teofimo is as fast as Gary Russell Jr.
Good point.
Uncle Al has fallen behind, so that fight's on YouTube right now. You can actually rewatch it.
Yeah, they try to get it off of YouTube. Isn't that amazing?
No, they do it. Every time it's on, they pull it off.
Yeah,
like within a couple of months.
Just like
there's 3 versions up right now. You can watch it. It'll be gone in a month or 2.
Yeah, make sure you guys go out there and watch it while you can.
Russell landed single-digit punches in every single round.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it was bad. And so if Lomachenko doesn't want to engage, he's already got a template for staying out of the way of people, of somebody who's, I would say, technically superior and faster. Now, obviously, Gary Russell Jr. does not hit anywhere near as hard as Teofimo.
Right.
But if Lomachenko can avoid a flush shot from Gary Russell Jr. for 12 rounds, like I said, unless he's really lost a step, he can avoid a flush shot from Teofimo if he needs to.
The only difference is Lopez is bigger than Russell. It's the only difference. But in terms of speed, that's a great point you bring up in terms of speed.
Like, I think, he's got reach and he's got power. Those are Lopez's edges.
Right.
And, that's been true of every single person that Loma's fought at lightweight.
That's a good point.
And you could argue that Linares is faster than Lopez.
Yeah.
And, he's got that same reach. It's just, there isn't a template unless Teofimo lands a power, like a money shot. There isn't a template for the skills he's got beating Lomachenko unless he's aged overnight.
Yeah, I think, I look at Lomachenko similarly to the way I look at Roy Jones Jr. Of course, there's differences, but it took a perfect money shot from Antonio Tarver in their rematch to brutally knock out and just destroy Roy Jones, right? Up until that, he had been touched before. I think he had even been put down, like flash knockdown, or backed up. But it took a perfect shot from Antonio Tarver, catching him perfect, catching him clean, and then on an old Roy who had slowed down a bit. That's how I think I think Lomachenko is going to eventually get knocked out. I do think if he keeps fighting at 135, it's just bound to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to require him getting a little older, slowing down, and as you said, somebody like Teofimo Lopez landing a money shot, similar to what Tarver did to Roy Jones. Short of that, I don't know if anyone's going to beat him, man. I just don't know.
Yeah. No, that's how I see it. But, yeah, wanted to clarify the comments. Appreciate you taking the call. Appreciate you doing the work. Man. And, all right, have a good one, man. Enjoy the fight.
All right, brother, get back to work. Wrap it up. It's Friday. Have a good weekend, man. There he goes. All right. Super chat pledge from Harrison Property. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate that. He says, this caller is really on point. Loma did look laser focused at the final press conference, and rumor swirls say he's super healthy and without injury. Thank you, buddy. And Gail says, with you 100%, Montero. That's because you're smart, Gail. No, I'm just like everyone. If you don't know, Gail Falkenthal knows her boxing. There's a lot of ladies working in the boxing business that don't necessarily know their stuff 1/10 as much as Gail. I think that she should be working on a network somewhere. I've been saying that for years. She should be on someone's commentary crew. But that's just me. That's just my opinion, Gail. I think you're one of the best out there. Okay, guys, let's see. My phone has 18% battery. If you see me looking up all the time, that's what I'm looking at as I look up at my battery and stuff. So we'll probably jump off here in a minute unless one of you guys wants to jump on the phone real quick. We'll take one last call. But the weigh-in is starting in a few minutes. So we'll go check that out and get our party for the weekend started. I feel like today, since this has that big fight feel, right, where the party kind of starts on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like the tailgating, the excitement, it all kind of centers around the weigh-in, and you start enjoying yourself and everything like the night before the fight, and it kind of goes into the whole next day. I know back before I was doing full-time media work, like when I would dabble in media in Los Angeles years ago, I'd cover some fights, and then some fights I go to as a fan, some fights I go to because I knew someone who would bring me along with their team or whatever. And that's how it'd start for certain fights. It would start Friday night, you'd hang out, you grill something, You'd have a few brews while you're grilling, playing some music, talking about the fight, chopping it up, giving your fight picks, right? You're doing that with your boys and your ladies. They're there too. And then the next day, you're in the parking lot at the arena. You're having a few before the fight. You're going in, maybe checking out a couple of the undercard fights. And then by the time you get to that main event, you're so hyped up that you can barely contain, like the energy. You know, you just feel like the place is going to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much energy. Now, unfortunately, we don't have that for this fight. That's the one thing that's missing is the crowd. But I do feel the energy and the excitement all around. Like, I felt it on Twitter this week, on TNC this week, with the calls we've had here today. We've had a bunch of calls, great calls, making great points. So the energy's there, guys. This is going to be awesome. So tomorrow, right now I have the party, the video scheduled for 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. That'll change depending on how the fights go. If the main event starts early, we'll move that time. If it starts late, we'll move that time. But I'm going to get on and just cover the main event, all right? So that will be that, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let's go check out these weigh-ins, and we'll hang out again tomorrow night, all right? I'll see you at the fights.